All right, actors being actors, it seems. Hollywood being Hollywood. This is disgusting, if true. We don't know if it is at the moment. Of course, Timothy Busfield, charged with CSA. Basically, he's a pedo. And that was actually on a film set. The Cleaning Ladies New Mexico set. Yeah, brilliant. Warner Brothers TV will cooperate with law enforcement. This is disgusting. But it's not surprising, which is actually really sad. You know, it's sad that that isn't surprising coming from Hollywood. Does seems to be a weirdly self-selecting pedophilia when it comes to Hollywood actors and studio heads as well, right? Does seem to be an oddly self-selecting situation there. So I thought we'd take a look at this because, wow, again, it's just Hollywood being Hollywood. Let's take a look. Not that this is a great, fun story, but it needs to be talked about. You can't shy away from the horrors of society. I don't think anyway. I think it's important to cover these things. So, let's just change the scope of this. There we go. Right. I mean, this is like genuinely foul. A 10-year-old New Mexico boy says Timothy Busfield touched his poop and pee area during production on The Cleaning Lady. An Albuquerque district attorney approved arrest warrant issued today says. Now, this was yesterday at the time of recording this, the 9th of January. In my training and experience, paedophiles often infiltrate families under a trusted role, like Timothy, who, as a producer, exploited the hectic film sets to tickle and touch SL on his, masking it as play. The warrant from Albuquerque police officer Marvin Brown asserts. He would invite the family to go to offset gatherings with his wife, buying Christmas gifts to foster closeness, making SL feel special and dependent. Classic grooming to erode boundaries, isolate the victim, and silence suspicions by blending abuse into normalcy. Brilliant. Fucking skank. They say that there's a thing, like, when you become super rich and famous and you've got, like, all the money in the world, like a psychological thing, you get bored. So, apparently you sort of reach out for taboos to get, like, some form of adrenaline rush and some form of dopamine hit. But I haven't looked into it. I don't know. But it is a thing which people suggest occurs. So maybe that's it rather than self-selecting. But it does seem to be a self-selecting thing. But then a lot of elites do stuff like this. So maybe it is that. Maybe it is that weird, I don't know, the psychological ramifications of having everything. It means you just got to get stuff that you supposedly can't have. Weird. Gross, though. So, filled with accounts from two brothers of their alleged repeated experiences with the 30-something alum, who was a director on the now shuttered Elodie Young-led Fox drama from Warner Brothers TV. The document charges Busfield with 2 counts of criminal sexual contact with a minor and child abuse. It's unclear at this point if the Emmy winner has been arrested and booked by Albuquerque Police Department. So if found guilty of the charges, Busfield could face a minimum of 3 years behind bars. 3 years? What? Why only 3 years? We've got a weird... In the West, man. The West has a weirdly lax sort of justice output for pedos. Doesn't it? Like the UK is really, really bad on light sentences for pedos. Apparently so does New Mexico. So that's the States, isn't it? Why only a minimum of 3 years? He's potentially destroyed 2 little boys' lives. Like forever. You know? Irreversible ramifications there. Destroyed their lives, right? They'll never be the same. They've been groomed. They'll never be the same. Only 3 years? No. Life behind bars. Cut his dick off as well. So, in fact, the 68-year-old who was accused but never charged in 2 previous sexual assault allegations in 94 and 2012 could be looking at a longer sentence in the land of enchantment. Well, good. Under New Mexico statutes, prison time in sex crimes against minors leans heavily on context and circumstances in the degrees of punishment they hand out. That time and felony class can go up substantially if the crime involves children under 13 years of age, as it allegedly does here. Named as SL and VL in the warrant, the 2 2014-born boys appeared on The Cleaning Lady over multiple seasons before being let go for having aged out of the roles. However, in a November 3rd, 2025 phone interview with Busfield in the warrant, the West Wing vet told investigating officer Brown that the lead actress Elodie Young informed him over a year ago that the mother of SL and VL that she wanted revenge, and I'm going to get my revenge on Tim Busfield for not bringing her kids back for the final season. So maybe it's that. But this person does have 2 previous allegations against them, which is a bit sus. Right? It's a bit sus. In interviews conducted with SL and VL on Halloween last year by a forensic child interviewer and observed by Officer Brown, today's arrest warrant says that the former told them the alleged abuse by Busfield started when he was 7 years old and on The Cleaning Lady. SL said that Tim touched him 3 or 4 times on his poop and pee area over his clothing. The 12-page arrest warrant states what is cited as a second incident with Busfield, very similar to a previous incident. SL said he was very afraid of Tim and was relieved when he was off set. SL said he was afraid to tell anyone because Tim was the director and he feared Tim would get mad at him. SL did advise that Tim touched him while he was only on set filming in Albuquerque. This is mental. So apparently SL now suffers from PTSD and anxiety. SL disclosing having nightmares about the director. VL explained that Mr. Tim did the same stuff, basically. I mean, this is just disgusting. I don't really want to read too much into this, really. That much more. I mean, look, it could all just be nonsense, but this is a guy that has had previous accusations, and he could have been covering his tracks, right? By saying, they want revenge. So, there is a statement from Warner Brothers TV. The health and safety of our cast and crew is always our top priority, especially the safety of minors on our productions. We take all allegations of misconduct very seriously and have systems in place to promptly and thoroughly investigate and, when needed, take appropriate action. We are aware of the current charges against Mr. Busfield and have been and will continue to cooperate with the law. So, interesting. As well as speaking to the boy's mother and father, who seem to have instigated and then ceased a civil suit on this, plus some Cleaning Lady production assistants and makeup and hair department staffers. Today's warrant also details a brief back and forth between Officer Brown and the series star Young, who was a producer too. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So there you go. I don't have much else to say, really. It's not great if this is the case, obviously. Like I said, it does seem to be like a self-selecting situation when it comes to Hollywood. This could be bogus. It's a guy that's had previous allegations, though. Not that that's unheard of either. But there you go. What do you think? Let me know down below. Bye now.